So welcome back. Today we are moving on to a small topic, mass Houle diagram. Okay, mass Houle diagram is a diagram used for construction of roads, railways, and whatever construction where moving of earth is mattered. Moving of earth. For example, suppose if this is the profile of a soil, and suppose this is the straight line where you want to construct a road. Okay, so this is a hill, there is a depression, etc. Okay, so this portion of land you want to cut out, that is called cutting, and some part of it will be filled in here so that it supports the road. So this part is called filling, cutting and filling. Okay, so if you are considering a 1 kilometer road, you will be having considerable area of considerable volume of earth to be moved. Okay, and if you are considering kilometers, about 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers of roads and railways and canals, you will be having enormous amount of earth to be hauled. Movement of earth is called hauling. You pull this or push this earth towards a point and leave it at there. Okay, for example, you need to, if there is a point, a small portion of earth in here, you will be hauling this much distance to reach that portion of land to rest. Okay, some portion of it may be reaching this portion, some portion of it will be reaching this portion. Okay, so there is a lot more calculations to be done in construction of roads, railways, canals, etc. for earth moving or hauling. Okay, and for the comfortable calculation and for much easier calculations and setting cost of construction and excavation, we are considering mass Houle diagram. And mass Houle diagram is made to make this hauling much easier to pay and calculate. Okay, for example, hauling is movement of earth for the purpose of construction, as I said now. Okay, so Houle distance is the distance to which this earth to be hauled. If suppose this distance is about 300 meters, Houle distance will be 300 meters. Okay, so Houle distance is the distance to be hauled. Okay, so then there is average Houle distance. Average Houle distance is the distance between the center of mass of cutting to center of mass of filling. That is average Houle distance. Okay, it's the distance between center of mass of cutting to center of mass of filling. That is average Houle distance. And there is free Houle distance. Okay, so you in normal constructions you will be giving contracts to other people for hauling. Okay, so that contractor will be having machines for hauling earth. Okay, so in the rate of contracts or rate of quantities, where rates will be given, and according to that rate, the client, maybe the government who is building the road will be giving money for contractor for hauling. Okay, so in rate of contract there will be a particular Houle distance that is free, that is called free hole distance. For example, if suppose 100 meter is free hole distance, that means for each m cube of earth to move 100 meters will be free. Okay, if suppose it exceeds 1 meter, even 1 meter, if it reaches 101 meters or 102 meters, there will be extra charge for howling. Okay, so that is free howl distance. That value will be different for different projects and different for different contractors and different for different works. Okay, so free howl distance is the distance that is included in the rate of quantities in earth movement. Okay, so that is free howl distance. Then overhaul distance. Overhaul distance is the distance which is over the value of free haul distance. If suppose free haul distance is 100 meters, if suppose we have hauled 125 meters, then haul distance is 125 minus 100, 25 meters. And for that 25 meters, the client should be paying the contractor an amount of money. Okay, that is overhaul distance. Overhaul distance is the distance that earth is hauled more than free haul distance. Okay, okay. Then there is a unit for hauling, that is station unit. Station unit is the unit of free overhaul distance, and it is used for considering the cost of construction or paying of these contractors. Okay, that is unit is normally taken as 1 meter cube per 100 meters. So for every meter cube per 100 meters, you will be having a separate rate, and for that rate government will be paying this contractor. Okay, I hope you understand. So although we are considering a very small portion of land, it is a very big or imperative importance for construction of road, railways and canals. Okay, so whenever we are considering a road, whenever we are considering a railway, whenever we are considering canals, we will be moving earth. Wherever we are moving earth, there will be mass howl diagram to calculate the construction charges. Okay, using this mass howl diagram, we will be quoting the work. Using that, we will be getting money from the client for the contractor. Okay, so it is of very prime importance. Okay, I hope you understand that. And next we will be going to construction of mass howl diagram. Suppose this is the profile of a hill. This is the shape of that hill. Okay, and it is divided into a number of sections. To be precise, 14 sections, 0 to 13, and it is denoted by capital letters A to N. Okay, and this dotted line is the proposed road on this section. This dotted line is the level that should be established along the section A to N. Okay, okay. So this is the profile of a hill, and this dotted line is the proposed road level. Road is supposed to go like this in a slight rising gradient. Okay, so first step, we are going to construct a mass howl curve diagram in here. So first step for that is calculate the areas of cross sections in the profile. Okay, so calculate the areas of cross sections means consider this cross section. There is no cross section at A for this time period. Calculate this cross section C, D, E, F is 0, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, etc. Okay, so calculate those area of cross section, each cross sections that are supposed to be cut. Okay, so now we know this area is to be cut and this area is to be filled. The earth above this line will be cut, and the area below this line, whereas this profile is having a depression, will be filled with earth. Okay, so second step, calculate the volumes of each sections, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, etc. Okay, calculate the volume of each sections. Okay, so you are doing that. So we are having a table, sections A, B, C, D to N. Volume, I have written number of arbitrary values for our calculation purpose. These values will not be accurate. Actual values will be a lot more higher. Even if it is in the terms of meter square, it will be a lot more higher. 100 meter square, 50 meter square. Okay, values will be a lot more complex. I have just adopted simple values to know the concept only. Okay, so just arbitrary random values I have taken. A to B area, this volume is assumed to be 2, this one is assumed to be 3, this one 4, 3, E to F 2, F to G 4, G to H 6, etc. Okay, so I have calculated, as second step I have calculated all the volumes between the sections. Okay, and one point to notice, you will assign positive sign to the volumes that are to be cut and negative sign on the values that are to be filled. Okay, that is, all the values from A to F will be positive and F to J will be negative and J to N will be positive. Okay, so the values of volumes will be given signs on the basis that all the volumes that are to be cut are positive and are to be filled are negative, because these two will be positive and this one will be negative. Okay, and third step, before that, F to G, these will be positive, positive, C to D, positive 4, positive. F to G will be negative, G to H will be negative, H to I again negative, I to J negative, then again J to K, it is rising above the proposed line, so it is positive, and the rest of them will be positives. Okay, so I hope you understand. First we will be taking area values, and using that area values, in second step we will be calculating volumes, and those values which are to be cut will be given positive and not to be filled will be given negative values. Okay, so F to J will be given negative values. Third step, calculate the aggregated volume. Aggregated volume means add one by one of this for each columns by considering sign. Okay, that is aggregated volume. So for this volume, A to B, until B it will be plus 2, until C it will be 2 plus 3 5, until D it will be 5 plus 4 9, 12, 14. Then considering the sign at G, the section and aggregated volume will be 10, minus 6, 4. At I it will be 4 minus 8 minus 4, then minus 7, then again positive values, so minus 4 plus 2 plus 8 and plus 11. So these are aggregated volume values found out from this volume table. Okay, So we have completed step 3, and last step is with the same scale of horizontal profile, with the same scale from 0 to 13, plot these aggregated volume values in a positive and negative scale. That is the last step. Then the graph getting by plotting of these values, aggregated volume value, will be a mass Howell curve. That is your result. Okay. So now I am going to, there is a same scale horizontal line, and this will be aggregated volume 0, positive, and below the line will be negative. Okay, aggregated volume will be plotted positive and negative. Along this line will be same profile line. So I am plotting these values. Plus 2 will be here, plus 5 will be here. At D, 3 will be, 9 will be here, 12, 14, 10, 4, minus 4, minus 7, minus 4 again, plus 2, plus 8, and plus 11. Okay, so the mass Howell curve will be obtained by joining all these points. Okay, I am joining all these points. It will not be accurate when I draw it as a first try. We will try one time. Okay, somewhat linking to the values. Okay, so this is mass Howell diagram. So you have constructed mass Howell diagram from a profile and volume values. Okay, so now we will be naming each of these corresponding points from A to N in this mass Howell diagram, namely in small letters A, B, C, and we have two new important points in here, where if we are numbering this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The point where this mass Howell diagram crosses balancing line will be termed as Q, small letter Q. It is this point, and the corresponding point in the profile diagram will be marked as capital Q. And same thing, when it goes back, crosses back, it will be termed as P, and capital P in here. Okay, so now we have completed with the construction of mass Howell diagram. Next, we are moving on to characteristics of mass Howell diagram. Okay, there are about 9 characteristics. Before that, we ought to understand this mass Howell diagram little more logically. Okay, we had all those tables to construct the mass Howell diagram. So after we get this mass Howell diagram, the things you should understand is, it is very helpful for understanding movement of earth, movement of soil, which are to be displaced. Okay, so suppose, consider we are having a big truck or a big earth moving machine like a JCB or something. So we have it at A and it is moving towards right direction towards N. It is continuously moving towards N with the earth whenever it is having it. Okay, so a JCB or a big truck is moving the earth towards right side like this. Okay, so when it is moving, there will be cumulative volumes. Okay, all these values are cumulative volumes, so volumes on specific sections. Okay, so when the truck is moving to B, it's increasing. When the truck is reached C, it is always increasing again. When it is reaching at D, it's increasing. E, it's increasing. At F, it reaches a maximum point. Why? Because then it is filling. This truck is filling this hole, this depression from the soil it had from the cutting of this portion. Okay, so after F, the volume, aggregate volume decreases because of filling. Okay, after F to G, there is a slight decrease because of filling at section FG. Then again at H, it decreases further. At Q, what happens? The truck earth in the truck load becomes 0. The truck is empty right now. At Q, truck is empty. Okay, so that is what the information you must understand from this topic. Okay, so moving from small letter A to small letter Q, it moved the earth volume towards right side, and at Q, the filling was at the point of Q, filling was over and the truck is empty right now. Okay, then what happens at I, J, K till P? The earth would be borrowed from this point or this point from here. Okay, so at Q, the truck is empty. Then the remaining Q, I, J portions will be filled by how? Borrowing earth from this positive region, from this region. Okay, that borrowing will be happening till where? P. Okay, till P that borrowing will be happening, and after that again the truck will be having from 0, it will start again and move towards right, and when it reaches, there is a volume of M, volume of this much earth balance in this truck, and this will be waste value, because that volume of earth will not be useful in any way. Okay, that volume of earth will be staying in truck for the next fill of next section. Okay, so I hope you understand. Assume a truck is moving towards right, and from A to Q it will be cutting, and when it reaches Q it will be empty. Then from Q to P it will be, truck will be pulling earth from the positive side towards backwards. As it is pulling it backwards, it is called as negative portion. Then from P it again moves forward with earth or earthwork in its hand. Okay, and finally at N it reaches with a volume of earthwork, and it will be a waste right now. The section had ended, and right now that earthwork is a waste. You have to dispose that volume of earthwork to somewhere else. Okay, so that is how you should be understanding this mass flow diagram. Okay, so moving on to characteristics, you are analyzing this portion of mass flow diagram one by one. Okay, how much values can you take in from this diagram, how much knowledge can you infer from this diagram. Okay, so first characteristic, the rising curve indicates cutting. Rising curve, when the curve is rising, this is mass curve diagram, when the curve is rising it indicates cutting. Okay, so right now the cutting is happening from A to F. The rising curve is cutting till F. From then it is falling. Okay, so rising curve indicates cutting, and that is because aggregated volume is increasing in rising curve. Okay, so first characteristic. Second characteristic, maximum point in the curve indicates end of cut. In this, maximum point is F. F is the maximum point. Okay, peak point, and that indicates the end of cutting and start of filling. Okay, the end of cut and start of filling. Maximum point indicates end of cut. Okay, third point, from F to J, it is we are doing filling, and F to J it is a falling curve. From J it rises again. Okay, so always rising curves indicates cutting and falling curve indicates filling. F to J, for example. Okay, and fourth one, the vertical difference between maximum point F and following minimum point, that is J. Following minimum point after F. So vertical difference between F and J, that will be the volume of filling. Okay, so F dash was this total volume, aggregated volume. J dash was this volume that has to be filled. Okay, so F dash J will be the total filling happened. Okay, I hope you understand. F dash plus J is total filling. Okay, next one, the vertical difference between any two points in the curve. Any two points, for example, we will take B and D. Vertical difference between B and D. This is the vertical difference. Vertical difference between any point without any maximum points, without any peak or crest. That indicates the volume of earthwork between that points. Between that points means from 1 to 3. Okay, this is volume of earthwork that happened. Okay, so for example, as we took in last one, from F to J, the vertical distance was the volume of filling. That is the same as volume of filling, volume of earthwork that happened between F to J, or 5 to 9. Okay, so without considering any peaks or anything, if you take any consecutive or any intermediate 2 points, the vertical difference between them will be volume of earthwork. Okay, next one. Sixth one, if a horizontal line is drawn intersecting the curve, okay, for example, if I am drawing like this is a horizontal line intersecting the curve, the total earthwork between them will be equal cutting and equal filling. Okay, that is why between these points, this particular point and this particular point, filling will be equal to cutting. Okay, to understand that, aggregate volume will be here. Suppose it is 10. when there is this intermediate point between C and D reaches, there is aggregate volume of 10, and then again it cuts till F, and then again it fills till G to again reach aggregate volume 10 meter cube. Okay, so the cutting will be equal to filling if you place a horizontal line between a curve. Okay, that is the sixth one. Next one. Seventh one, when the horizontal balancing line, this is horizontal balancing line. Horizontal balancing line, the center line. When the horizontal balancing line intersects the curve, the positive part indicates that howling should be done forward. Forward means towards N. Negative parts indicates that howling should be done backwards. Okay, I think this point I mentioned earlier. From A to Q, we are moving forward only. When we reach Q, the volume of air becomes 0 in the truck. Okay, when you reach Q, so till Q we were moving forward comfortably. When we reach Q, there is no air left in the truck to fill the following point. So what we'll be doing? We'll be pulling this portion of land backwards. So howling will be backward howling. So then backward howling will be till Q to P. Okay, understand? So the seventh point is, as horizontal balancing line intersects the curve, the positive portion indicates forward howling and negative portion indicates backward howling. In this A to Q, there will be forward howling. When it reaches Q, there is no earth left. So from Q to P, we will be pulling earth backward howling. Okay, that is seventh one. Eighth one. So the length of balancing lines in the intersecting points. Intersecting points are Q, P, A. A, Q, P are the intersecting points. When the balancing line intersects the curve, they are intersecting points. That's it. Okay. So the intersection points denotes that maximum howling distance. Okay. So in forward direction, we already said that this is forward direction. A to Q is forward direction, and A to Q distance will be also the maximum howling distance in this direction. Okay, and intersecting point difference is negative difference is QP, and QP will be maximum backward howling distance. QP, if QP is 150 meters, that will be the maximum distance up to which this truck will be pulling earth backwards. If this is 500 meters, 500 meters of land can be pulled forward till we are out of earth. Okay, so AQ will be the maximum forward howling distance, and PQ or QP will be the maximum backward howling distance. Okay, last point. Last one, the area we get from cutting the curve by horizontal balancing line, that is this area, and also this one. Okay, this is positive area and negative area. This will give you the howl of the process, and howl is volume multiplied by howl distance. Okay, so as we know, this x-axis is distance, horizontal distance, forward going distance till n. Vertical axis aggregated volume. Okay, so area of this curve will give you howl, which is that portion. Howl will be the parameter that is used to consider rate of quantities, cost of construction, etc. So based on howl value, we will be paying the contractor who is doing all this work. Okay, so area of this region will give you volume into howl distance, and that will be getting howl, and based on that value you will be calculating all the other things. So these are the 9 characteristics of mass howl diagram. Okay, so we know the major terms and conditions, terms of mass howl diagram, and we know the 4 steps that we use for construction of mass howl diagram, and we know the 9 main characteristics, primary main characteristics of this mass howl diagram that is used very consistently and very imperatively in road, railway, canal constructions. Okay, so rewatch this video if you want, ask me any doubt. Okay, thank you.